are now joined by NASCAR Hall of Famer and Hendrick Motorsports Vice Chairman Jeff Gordon. With the number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. Jeff, congratulations on the victory today. That 5 car, and Kyle had speed all day, but also a lot of resilience. Walk us through the race from your perspective.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin. It certainly looked like, they were the class of the field at one point, and then, it looked like Bell was, and, then Keselowski came in there. I mean, it was a great battle, a great race, really. And, I thought it sounded to me like Kyle was loose at the beginning, so I think they made one pretty major adjustment. They lost a little track position there, but it was in an effort to tighten the car up, and it definitely did. It's just they probably lost a little more track position than they would have liked. So just trying to watch them get that back, and the restarts were intense, and then that time when Kyle got loose off of 2, I mean, you could just tell he's working really hard. Sometimes you don't know how hard these guys are working, how on edge these cars are, until something like that happens and reminds you just how hard they're pushing. But great job to him to keep it out of the wall and keep them in the race. I thought that might be the end of their day, and I didn't know what the damage was on the right rear. Usually, even that slight damage has an effect on the performance, but it seemed like their car was bounced right back. And then, it was a total team effort because of that last pit stop. I thought that was a great stop to get them out front. Of course, still had to battle it out on those restarts, but it was good. My gosh, what a nail biter on those last few laps. I was sweating that one there. You saw Bell really working that outside lane and making some great momentum off the corner, and just didn't seem like there was a whole lot Kyle could do other than just stick to his line, and then they made contact. So wasn't even sure when they were coming to the line if it was going to work out that way, but it did. So it was a great day, and great to capture this win, get them to Phoenix for the championship. That's huge for us at Hendrick. Still more work to do. Got to get the 24 in there. Rough day for Chase on the owners, so we got some work to do there too over the next couple weeks.
Okay, we'll open the floor for questions. We're going to start here with Jeff, and we'll go to Justin.
I tried to answer as many of your questions right there in my opening statement. No kidding. You tell me. I saw they were up, and they looked strong to start, and then what happened? I don't know. Listen, there may be some Cleveland Brown fans in here, so I'm not going to disrespect anybody.
Jeff, Kyle, all this week won a sprint car championship, did Indy 500 testing, and now wins a key NASCAR playoff race. Is there any way to put in perspective what this guy is doing with the broader motorsports landscape?
Yeah, how do you win your own championship? That was my question. It's certainly a great week. I was up there with him in Indy, and just like kind of childhood dreams for me, him, his dad, Rick Hendrick. Being up there at Indy was so special. And I felt like all of our teams had confidence coming into this race. I think that, with the win earlier in the year, I think this track's been pretty good to us in the fall, the last couple of years as far as speed. So there's a lot of confidence by everybody coming into this weekend. And, other than the unfortunate failure by the 9, I thought the cars, all continued to show speed, throughout the day. But, the conditions, the heat of the track and just, tires and wear and all those things, track position it was challenging. It was a tough day. So, to see them overcome the adversity and some of the challenges and be able to get it into victory lane and it be such a great race right down to the wire. That's what you want to see in this round of the playoffs going to the championship.
We'll go Justin, then Jerry, then Jonathan.
Justin Schuler, Kicking the Tires. Jeff, you're talking about the resilience of Kyle Larson, but what about the rest of the team? Because obviously you had the tire issues on Saturday and then more tire issues plaguing other people today. So from your perspective, what's going through your mind with the constant tire issues just being nonstop? And then especially in that third stage, the runs are longer. So is that starting to be a concern, seeing Bell close in and having that slight concern? Is it going to push too hard and have a tire issue there and have that be detrimental?
Yeah, I think our guys, from everything I was talking to them about, they were pretty conservative, I thought, today. And Goodyear kept giving reports back to them that all of our tires that they were looking at, I don't know if they were cutting tires apart, looking at the inside shoulder, but they kept coming back saying they look good. So, I don't think that was too much of a worry, but of course, you'd never know. You might get one tire that just reacts a little bit different, or maybe they push really hard, on a restart. I felt like after the first run, the first run was the one that seemed to make everybody the most nervous because the speeds were fast, and Larson was out front and, pushing it. So I was a little bit nervous about that. But there at the end, felt pretty good about it, but you never know. I've learned, not just being a driver, but especially in this position when I have no control over it, that you just don't get your hopes up or get, your mind going there till that car crosses the checkered flag. And so, it was just great to see him do that at the end.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. I'm going to make it a little controversial here. So how good is Kyle Larson, and is he a better driver than you are?
Yes. I'm glad I didn't have to race. I got my butt kicked by one guy at Hendrick Motorsports as my teammate. I didn't need to have two of them. So, you take a guy like Kyle and his capabilities and his talent, and he's impressed me with his work ethic too. I wasn't sure how he approached the Cup Series and especially with Cliff and all the data and all the homework that Cliff gives them, and the meetings that they have. Cliff's an intense guy and he brings a lot to the table, so that's a lot of information that you have to absorb. But he's stepped up to the plate and has done everything that the organization could possibly ask out of him and then some. And it's been a great relationship. And this year it's just all about getting the car and the team and everything to align. They've kind of been up and down, this year, made some mistakes earlier in the year, but it seems like in the playoffs, I feel like, they've just been bringing fast race cars and stepping up to the plate. I mean, Texas was tough, right, because he was in such a good place, and that battle, he and Bubba, and the result of that, and then, what happened in the Roval, you're like, oh gosh, is this going to be a repeat of the year before? But, I knew when they got through the Roval, this round was going to be extremely good for them. They run good, really at all three of these tracks, but especially this one in Homestead.
We're going to go to the Jonathan, then the Zach, then the Jim, then the Cole.
Jonathan Field, the racing experts, ESPN Radio Albuquerque. Looking through the years being at Hendrick Motorsports, internally, what do you believe Kyle Larson has, brought to the team that, I guess, makes it different from previous years?
Well, I think, anybody that's bringing a high level of talent and aggressiveness and speed to match up with the people that are building the cars and the people that, it's about having confidence in one another. And I'll remember the first time I met with Cliff Daniels and told him, who we were looking to be his new driver. And you saw, he lit up. He was excited about that. And so there's certain drivers that bring that, not a lot of them, but the ones that do instantly elevate up the team. And then, like I said, but you got to follow that up with, you got to work hard at it too. And he's doing both of those things. So it's a good combination.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Jeff, you mentioned earlier how huge this is to get Kyle to the championship for locked in today. Exactly how pivotal is it? Hendrick Motorsports obviously strives to bring championship caliber equipment to the racetrack every week, but what does this allow Cliff and the entire number 5 team to do that's different without the stress of worrying about Homestead or Martinsville? Yeah,
I mean, it's different now with this car versus the old car. The old car, right? We always say, ooh, now you can start thinking about ways you can twist and turn it and make it a superior car when you go to Phoenix. But this car is way different than that. So certainly it allows them to take some stress off, but focus really on the areas that they just need to focus on to keep the speed coming in the race cars. I know Cliff and this team and Kyle, they're going to want to go to Homestead and dominate there and try to win there and go to Martinsville and do the same. These are not guys that are just going to sit back. I think they're also going to be great team players. The way that our teams are communicating and working together this year, and just it's been progressing over several years, but it's the best I've ever seen it right now. And that's what it takes, in my opinion, to go win a championship in Phoenix is a total team effort, total organization effort. And now that they're locked in, it'll be interesting to see how they work with one another to try to get William do everything we can to get William in there, and then try to go battle it out among them in Phoenix.
Go next to Jim.
Jim Utter, motorsport.com. Jeff,
Where are you, Jim?
Right here.
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
You look on paper, and Kyle wins both stages, and he leads the most laps, but nothing, it seems, with Kyle comes easy on the track.
He does tend to want to
when you
do
hit
that
the
from
wall
time to
and
time.
nearly spin out once or twice. And I was just wondering, is that and his ability to overcome those things, is that just something that you guys grown accustomed to and part of what makes him special?
Yeah, I mean, the guy knows how to win clearly, and I mean, I think Cliff and he have some real heart-to-heart discussions about some of those instances, and on both sides, I would say, from whether it's a strategy call or something, a misstep on pit road, or Kyle and restarts. But it's more about being able to have the trust in one another where you can have those kind of hard conversations, because you just want to get better. You just want everybody to get better. And they're able to do that. Actually, Kyle welcomes it. Every time I talk to him, about some of those conversations, he's like, no, I welcome it. I love the intensity, the passion that Cliff and the engineers bring, and how they want to push me at all times. So it's good. So no, I don't think you can change that. You don't want to change that in a guy like Kyle. If it's a new up-and-coming younger driver, and you feel like those are conversations need to be had, then yeah, you have them. But I've never had to have that one with Kyle.
Okay, we're going to wrap here with Jeff with Cole.
Cole Cusimano with the Arizona Republic. Jeff, first off, congrats on the win. And then just want to fast forward to Phoenix, to the Xfinity side. You have Raja Karuth making the start in the 17 car. I would just love to know what you make of him and his driving abilities, and what made him a good fit for the organization.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so cool that it's going to be at Phoenix to have him in the car. That's the first time I ever met Raj and his dad was at Phoenix in the garage, maybe like the ARC or Xfinity garage, and just meeting him for the first time was like, wow, this kid seems very professional and very driven and well spoken, and I was like, I look forward to watching his career, and I've followed it along the way, and you just never know what a driver is getting into as far as equipment, and this time we're going to know, he's going to be in good Hendrick Motorsports equipment. We got to make sure we button up some things so we don't have an issue like we had at the Roval with Boris, but we're looking forward to giving him a good race car and a good race team, and I think I'd just like to see him go put a solid effort in there and just make every lap. I think it's probably going to be the most important thing first.
Well, Jeff, before you get to Phoenix, you have Homestead to take care of next week and Martinsville the week after that, so good luck in the rest of the playoffs, and we'll see you in Phoenix.
Yeah, great start and great round for us. We'll keep it going. Thank you.
Take care now.